Welcome to my testimony on the top 10 tips for being a conservative Christian. I'm providing this vital information to clear up the confusion some of you have expressed when you see Americans like Jerry Falwell Jr., Speaker Mike Johnson, and Donald Trump claim to be followers of Jesus. Yet they ignore every darn thing Jesus ever said. Well, that coincidentally is the first step to being a conservative American Christian. You see, Jesus was wont to say some rather peculiar things that are frankly perplexing and inconvenient to modern conservative Americans. For example, he told us not to pray in public, to which conservative Christians have roundly responded with one word: rubbish. I mean, if people can't see you praying, what's the point? We even have a national day set aside to be seen praying. As it taught, Jesus was a refugee in Egypt, fleeing danger in his homeland. So it's of little surprise that he asks us to treat such intruders with kindness. Well, I have news for Jesus. Just because Egypt believed in open borders doesn't mean America has to. Besides, when Jesus made the unsolicited request that we welcome strangers, for all we know, he could have been smirking when he said it. When reading scripture, it is important to know when the Lord was speaking tongue-in-cheek, or nodding his holy head no, or holding up an "I'm just kidding" sign. And the fun part is you can decide for yourself if any of these things are true, because I've never met a conservative Christian worth their salt that couldn't dexterously interpret their way out of any scriptural nuance. For example, Jesus told us not to retaliate. Okay, we'll just attack first. Jesus also told us not to judge others. Talk about freeing up a conservative Christian's day. But I have a clever workaround, I reassure everyone. I savagely censure. I'm not judging you, dear. The Lord is. I'm just passing along the verdict. You're welcome. Jesus told us that if we want to call ourselves his followers, we need to sell all our possessions and give the proceeds to the poor. But if you think that one through, that would make us poor and the poor rich, which means they'd have to give it all back to us, so we just skip a step and keep it. Christian denominations have long wrestled with the question, is salvation through faith or works? To which I respond, as anyone who has watched Carolyn Lovett in a press conference knows, salvation is through jewelry. People like Laura Ingraham like to go on TV wearing big shiny crucifixes, or on certain Wednesdays, a cross of ashes on her forehead. Conservative Christians signal their faith through outward decoration, because how else would anyone ever guess they are Christians? Certainly not by their words or actions. Don't go around telling people you want to undermine public education for kids. That doesn't sit well with certain testy parents. No, instead, talk about how fabulous vouchers are for private schools, because vouchers are not about educating children. They are about funneling taxpayer dollars away from public schools and into the hands of for-profit businesses called Christian schools. Clever, no? Look, we can't force others to read the Bible. In fairness, it's not as if most of us read it, but we can force them not to read other books. Banning books is an essential part of being a conservative Christian, because secular books open people's minds to dangerous ideas like science and logic. And as we know, an open mind is Satan's sex doll. Just because Jesus displayed a suspicious preoccupation with the poor and those without health care, he even healed them without a copay, doesn't mean we need to squander time thinking about people who aren't even us, because the Republican Christian motto is, if it doesn't affect me, it didn't happen. And if it did affect me, it's probably persecution, y'all. Glory.